Demarcus Riddick commits to Auburn, and we preview Big Cat Weekend on today's episode of the Uptempo Podcast.
You are now listening to the War Report Podcast Network.
Hey, Auburn family, happy Friday, man. I know you're feeling good because we're feeling good. Big things happening this week. We told y'all it was coming. Everybody knew it was coming. Get your jackets, Auburn family. It's freaking freezing cold, bro, and it's only going to get better this weekend. I am your host, Dustin Smith, joined as always by my guy, Blake Lane. Blake, how fired up are you, man? We told we were going to bark today. We told him we were going to talk today.
I can tell you how fired I am, Dustin. Right here, you see this? You see this? Get out of here! All right, get out of here!
Yeah.
Right? Hadn't even played a game yet. Hadn't even ran out the tunnel yet, baby. All right, how's it feel? How's it feel? We talked about it last episode. Take a deep breath. Let it go. Let it go. All right. I mean, it feels good. I mean, to see Alabama fans just absolutely scrambling. All right. Demarcus's grandmother just snatching souls. All right.
She got a body count. You got to stop, grandmama. You got a body count.
Killing it, bro. She's killing it. And you know, they're going after her and everything, and she's just handing out L's like it's Halloween. All right. Just spitting them out like candy, brother. And it's exciting. The fan base feels like they're energetic again. You know, they're just everybody's on fire. You know, we're having fun, and Alabama fans hate when Auburn fans are having fun, right? Anything that Auburn is doing well in, it brings Alabama fans pain. And that's what I'm most excited about is I want to see pain. I want to see Perry Thompson bring more pain. I want to see all the good stuff, Dustin. I want to see it all, brother. So I'm super excited.
Yeah, buddy. So we talked about it. We said, hey, man, the way it looked, we feel like this is going to happen. It happened. We survived that final push that we talked about, was going to come. And here we are, man. A guy that is our first 5 stars, a composite 5-star. Our first 5 stars was Owen Pepo in 2019, right? And it's really about his raw ability, Blake. That's the cool thing about it is that he hasn't even really honed in at linebacker yet. He's played all over the field. He's played some nickel. He's played some edge. Apparently, he's played some inside, some outside. He returns kicks. I mean, the guy, he's just all over the field, and you get that a lot of times in high school ball. Just the best athlete, they have to kind of use him everywhere. So he hasn't really even got to refine his linebacker skills yet. So I look forward to that, and I think that we have. When you look at a guy like Owen, I would say that it's kind of the same situation. Their play style is a little bit different. I've heard a lot of Carlos Dansby comparisons because Carlos Dansby was a guy that played wide receiver in college, and he played wide receiver for a practice or 2 in college. But he was a guy that played wide receiver in high school, and just if you remember Carlos, man, his ball skills, had a ton of interceptions from that linebacker position. He was very agile, very quick, just could do it all. He got coached right. He got coached into that linebacker position and had the long NFL career that he had. Owen didn't. Big skill set, super athletic, didn't necessarily have the best linebacker coaches in his time at Auburn, didn't get fully developed, pulled him for him in Arizona. Hopefully these NFL coaches are able to get it out of him. But I feel pretty good. I feel pretty good with the coach that we got right there at linebacker right now. We'll get our first taste of his development and his on-field coaching this year. But, boy, he can recruit. He can recruit. And this is kind of the angle that I want to take with this, bro, is that he tweeted out a tweet where he tweeted out when the boys ran on the field last year at the A&M game with Cadillac. And he said, I'm not going to entrust this environment to somebody who I don't think is competitive and will take it seriously. And the reason that was a subtweet, and the reason he had to subtweet that is because there are some guys over at a Bama website, mods, Blake, beat writers, who are saying that Demarcus Riddick does not have that he just wanted to have fun.
Yeah.
That he's let it be known that he doesn't want to win, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's always funny to see what angle they're going to take. It's either the we didn't want him angle, but you can't spin that angle when we all have a video of Coach Saban pulling him up in his personal car to the spring game. So you can't take that angle. And the Georgia side was very clear. No, we want him. By the way, this is the second linebacker y'all jacked from us in a couple weeks. And they wanted him. So they couldn't spin that angle. So the new angle is Demarcus doesn't want to compete. He just wants to have fun. Blake, does a 5-star athlete of this caliber, no matter where you look, he's in the top 3 linebackers in the country. Does a guy of this caliber, does he not want to compete? Do you become this kind of an athlete by not wanting to compete?
I always found that side of it funny, right? Like, this dude is he's the 26th ranked player or something along those lines.
Highly rated no matter where you look, right?
Yeah, 3rd best linebacker in the country and 3rd best player in the state of Alabama.
Yeah.
Okay.
Top 5 in the state no matter where you look.
Yeah, so come on, all right. Ridiculous, and all the Alabama fans were like, well, we're stacked at linebacker and he would have to sit the first 2 years and all this. Look, as a competitor, all right, that ain't running through his mind, all right? I can tell you, he's 17 years old. He thinks he's the best player when he touches the field, all right? So him going into the University of Alabama, he ain't thinking about sitting the bench. All right, he's going to compete, and he's going to try to show Saban, hey, I'll graduate early. I'll get to campus. All right, let me run through a spring. All right, let me go through summer. Let me get into fall camp. All right, let me see if I can get some playing time. That's what he would do. He wouldn't take the automatic route of just saying, well, they're stacked at linebacker. I'm going to just sit. I'm going to sit my first 2 years. That's not what competitors do, bro. All right, now, did Auburn have the opportunity to pitch that sell to him? Yes, they did. All right, because we know linebacker, like we always say, is a position of need right now for Auburn. Okay, now, did they pitch that to him? Yes. All right, hey, Demarcus, you can come to Auburn. You can play early. But is Demarcus going to come to Auburn and play right away? We don't know. Okay. Do I think he will? Yes, but we don't know yet. We honestly don't know. And that's my thing is all of these fans were saying, oh, well, he went to Auburn, like he's going there to start as a freshman. Man, you don't know if he's going to start as a freshman.
Especially with him not having his linebacker skills refined, right? Just talk about how he plays all over the field. He might not be ready to go at linebacker. He might be the best athlete at that position, but he might not be ready to go at linebacker.
And that's my thing is like, okay, so what happens if he gets to Auburn and he sits his first year? Then what take is the Alabama fans going to have? All right, well, he would still have to sit an extra year here. Okay, that's not a competitor's mindset. That's Dustin. They don't go into competing for a job thinking, oh, I'm going to have to sit my first 2 years here. All right, and look, honestly, maybe going there and him sitting his first 2 years, maybe that works out for people a lot of the times. Look at Mac Jones at the quarterback position. All right, Mac Jones sat, and look what he did. All right, I mean, he's a quarterback in the NFL for the New England Patriots now because he sat and waited his turn. So maybe, if he would have really liked what Saban was pitching him, and he could have sat down and said, hey, maybe I go up there, I learn behind a couple of their guys and I listen to what they have to say and follow them. And hopefully they can, mold me into the best linebacker I can be. But he didn't want to take that route. I think what really got him to Auburn was Hugh Freeze pitched something to him and Coach Aldridge pitched something to him of laying the groundwork and cementing their status in this 24 class of bringing Auburn back. And he said, I wanted to go to Alabama, like it felt cool and all, but there was something else about Auburn that family felt different. That family felt different. And that's my biggest thing is stop taking away from the kid's shine. It was his decision. All right. It's not anybody else's. And like when they're going at his grandmama, like Dog, it was his decision. It's what he come down to, because they're sitting there saying, "Oh, well, he's going to Auburn to play, for a piss poor program, and we're never going to hear from him again." Man, you don't know that. Like, Duke could go to Auburn and bring them back. He could bring them back from the depths of where they were at just last year. So I'm excited to have him. Anytime you get a caliber player like this, you got to be excited. And to rip him from Georgia and Alabama, and then to see Perry Thompson right before he commits throw up an Instagram story with a smiley face on it and say, "Hey, Demarcus, let's go, big dog." All right. I mean, that's got to have you tingling a little bit.
It gave you flashback to PTSD, right? to speaking on just where we've been as Auburn fans, because you sent me the thing, you text me the thing, you said, "I don't know, I don't like this," because your mind went to
Alabama.
Are they about to troll us? Are we about to get trolled and clowned?
We're about to lose too.
That's just where it's been. That's just where it's been. And all of a sudden, this is one of those guys. I know Bryce Kane's profile picture for a while was him shooting the pool ball with the hat on, where that Auburn's upside down. I was making fun of it. I'm like, this is the stupidest style. Why? Apparently, it's for flip the script.
Yeah.
They're taking it serious, man. And this is how you really do it, is getting guys like this to where all of a sudden it's like, now you ask yourself, why did Perry post that?
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to get the quote exactly here, and then I'll get off this. But I'm going to be honest with you, bro. This pissed me off. And I don't know the guy that posted this personally, but you have a responsibility to, when you have a job like this, to, like this guy has, to speak somewhat professionally, and conduct it the right way. And I'm sorry, but from Tim Watts here at Bama Online, I just think this is crap. I'm just going to call it what it is. I don't know the rest of his work, but I just think this particular post is all I've seen of his. I don't spend time on Bama sites, but this is crap. Speaking on Demarcus, Bama isn't for everyone, and everyone isn't for Bama. Riddick wants to have fun in college. He's told several people behind the scenes this. He's also said he isn't worried about winning. He's told several people this. Auburn has done a good job selling that football will be fun. Everyone knows that Bama, Ohio State, and Georgia are different than other places. I can promise y'all that Demarcus Reddick has never told anybody he isn't worried about winning. That's the biggest load of crap for somebody that is a member. I mean, that's Alabama's on-3 side, okay? That's not some podunk run-of-the-mill.
That's the bowl site.
Right. For you to post that, man, come on, bro. I'm not even like, just come on, man. That's crap. You're calling out this kid's work ethic. You're calling out his competitive nature. Like, nah, bro. No, Tim Watts. That's not it. That's not it, bro. That's bull crap. And I haven't looked at all of Grandmama Reddick's tweets, but I hope she's getting on that one, because that's trash, dog.
Let me tell you something real quick before we move on to our next segment. Dustin, like I said just a minute ago, this kid is 17 years old, okay? His dream is to play in the NFL, not to have fun in college, okay? Right. Not to party it up. Now, is he going to have fun? Yeah, he's going to have fun. He's going to have a good time. He's going to kick it with the boys and do what college athletes do, all right? Don't get it twisted now. But you're making it sound like he's just going there to shoot the hay and have a fun time and not care about football.
He doesn't care about winning is the direct quote, Blake.
Exactly.
Come on.
He doesn't care about winning. So you know what that was? That was a jab at Auburn, basically saying, "Hey, y'all suck." All right.
You know what else it is? You're questioning Nick Saban's evaluation. Because if Saban wants him, and if Kirby Smart wants him, and you're saying he doesn't care about winning, then you're telling everybody that Nick Saban drove a guy to the spring game in his personal car and put a ton of effort. You're telling me that Georgia took the commitment of a guy that has no interest in winning. Now, what kind of sense does that make? So you're really backhandedly talking about your own guys if that's the case.
Because you're mad that Auburn's back.
And, I talked to my little brother about it today, and he made a great point, and you said it too. They don't even care. They're just mad to see us happy and having fun. And you know what? To your point, Tim Watts, we do have more fun. We do. Mm-hmm. Y'all got the ring and all that, and trust me, we would trade it. Okay, especially on this podcast, we're about the dubs. We're about the winning.
Yeah.
We want to win. I promise you. We
Yeah.
don't like what's been going on, but I think that your biggest issue with it is you wanted Joe Phillips and you didn't get him. You wanted Demarcus Riddick and you didn't get him. And we'll talk about it here in a minute, but all of a sudden they have to go down to a guy to dirty on their board a little bit to somebody like Bradley Shaw. It turns out Bradley Shaw might commit to Auburn this weekend. So all of a sudden, Bama's looking at their linebacker board going, wait a minute. Am I settling? That's why y'all are mad. That's why you're mad. Auburn's not going to catch Alabama this year. Auburn's not going to catch Alabama next year. But look, they want Perry Thompson. You get Perry, you take away that guy that they have on their board, take away these guys for all these different positions, you start catching them in the aggregate, little by little. You start catching them in that talent gap, little by little. Every time you get somebody that they want, you beat them for somebody, you're catching them a little bit because he was high on their board. Now they got to go to the next guy.
Absolutely.
And if you do what we're doing, we'll get into it here in a second. When you do what we're doing with Bradley Shaw, that's elite. That's the kind of crap that they've been doing to us forever. Let's go down here and snag this guy just because he's your third option. And now all of a sudden you're sitting back looking, going, what? You took all three of the guys I wanted? Can we call DJ Barber? No, you can't have him either, baby. You can't have him either. You better call somebody. You better see if Georgia will come off another one. See what we done took two from them. See if you can get one.
Dustin, I had a hard time also with the Hugh hasn't coached a game. Auburn's acting like they're back. Okay. I had a hard time with that one because you're acting like he's never coached in the SEC. You're acting like he's never coached in this league. You're acting like he's never beat you. And you're sitting here going, yeah, they get one recruit and they act like they're back. And I know we're in the house for multiple recruits. Okay. We might not get him, but KJ Bolden, the heat's been turned up. All right. Would have loved to seen if Hugh would have been hired in Harson's spot back in 2020. All right. If he would have been hired there, we're probably getting a for sure KJ Bolden. All right. Just saying. Right. So you're sitting here saying this guy, you're saying that he's the second coming of Christ. All right. And all this. Guess what, buddy? All right. He beat you at Ole Miss. And he knows that if he beats you at Ole Miss, he can beat you at Auburn. And he can do it more, all right, with better athletes, all right? Yeah. So easier access to get those athletes, all right? So don't sit here and act like this is something new and Hugh ain't nothing and all this because he's beat you. And stop downplaying it. You're just scared. You're scared that Auburn is on its way back to full force. And I said this the other night that I really feel like this rivalry is starting to flirt with those from about 2008 to about 2014, where it got really slimy. It got really nasty and dirty and just downright disrespectful.
Doesn't take much, does it?
Yeah, I mean, look, it's the best rivalry in the world. All right, you can't tell me any different. And I think you said it about Ohio State and Michigan that they don't have this much hostility over a high school kid, dog, over a recruit. Right. All right, we're sitting here going to war. We got a grandmother taking souls, bro, and yeah, it just goes to show how great of a rivalry it is. And how much the fans just actually get into recruiting. They care and they dive into it and just really learn to love a kid, and get to know him. And, that's one of my biggest things with Auburn fans too, is when a guy doesn't pick us, no need to trash. No need to say, hey, you made a mistake. That's another thing I got on Twitter and I saw today was he made a mistake. All right. This dude told this Tyler Buckner legacy season or whatever his name is. said that to Demarcus's grandmother. Said, well, he made a mistake. And she was like, well, guess what? It was his mistake to make.
Right.
All right? It was his decision to sit down and pull the hat out of the bag, not yours.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's such a joke.
Shut up. All right.
Yeah. Like, you're the ones meeting with the coaches. Like, you're the ones you're not in these discussions.
Yeah.
You don't know what they're talking about. You have no idea. Maybe the kid wants to be an engineer and Auburn has a better engineering program. Like, there's so much that goes into these decisions to act like you're just looking at saying, okay, I'm an Alabama fan. Alabama's won more games and we have more championships. So picking Auburn's the wrong choice. No, it's not. We just talked about Owen Papa, right?
Yeah.
He didn't even play up to his potential, and he still made it to the league at Auburn, and he didn't even reach his potential. There's nothing stopping Demarcus Riddick from reaching his ultimate goal of the NFL at Auburn, and for whatever reasons, after meeting with everybody, obviously he has a pretty personal relationship, got pretty close to Coach Saban. After meeting with everybody, he decided this is where I want to be for the next 3 to 4 years. Okay, man, you lost a guy. You lost a guy for the first time in forever. Get over it, man. We lost a guy, Blake. News come out today, man. Caden Bridges, safety, not only removed from the team, removed from campus. We don't know a lot of details, so we don't really want to get too much into that. It has started to come out. Some journalists are starting to post that it appears that it is tied to the Jarquez Hunter situation. If he's removed from the entire campus, you can kind of connect the dots there, put 2 and 2 together and say, okay, it looks like it. Personally, we don't have a whole lot of details. We haven't confirmed anything, so we're not really going to speak on all of that part of it. Just a really unfortunate situation, Blake. You hate to see it. And now, you're talking to before we started recording, we've lost Demario Tolan and we've lost Caden Bridges here before the season. Not detrimental losses, but 2 guys that you expected to contribute, 2 guys that you expected to play. Some I don't know how much we really expected Tolan to play, but he was a big-time get when we got him. And you've lost both of those guys before you strapped up for fall practice. So what are your thoughts here, buddy?
One reason why we kind of told everybody to slow down with the expectations, right? I mean, we really hey, chill out. We would love to go 9-3, 10-2. All right, we get it. We understand why you're saying that. But things like this are going to happen. It hurts. Best of luck to Caden Bridges, right? We wish him well. No hatred towards whatever happened. We don't know. We don't want to discuss it really. It is what it is. We're not going down that road. But the thing about this secondary is there's depth, right, Dustin? We've got guys. We've got young guys back there, but we've got guys. All right? I know Austin Osbury is a guy that you're high on, and Terrence Love, right? I know that's
Sylvester Smith as well.
Sylvester Smith, and I know you still got Marquise Gilbert that he's back there and he can play it a little bit. Sure. So there's depth back there. There's guys that can play the position. It hurts a little bit because I know some people were talking about this could all be over playing time. Caden was on the 2 deep. All right.
Right. He's gonna play.
So yeah, he was gonna get reps. Okay. So I don't think it had much to do with playing time, but I think we're okay. My biggest thing is exactly what I started off with is this is why we told you to slow down a little bit and reel back your expectations a little bit, because things like this were going to happen out of nowhere. You were going to get thrown a curveball one day and see that somebody had been removed from the team. You lost a key contributor, and here we are. Caden Bridges, a guy that was going to get significant snaps, and he's gone, Dustin.
Yeah. So like Marquise Gilbert, completely forgot about that, and I just shouted him out the other day, right? Got to step up, bro. Somebody got to step up. I would say that because of based off of what this is tied to, I would say, okay, now you're kind of waiting to find out exactly if Jarquez gets anything, what's the length. And I feel pretty good in saying that all the other names that you heard, probably okay. Don't quote me on that. But I'm just saying this name comes out. This probably feel like this is the only name, right? Like they would come out at one time. So, and maybe I'm wrong on that, but that's just a thought as well. So practice starts next week. Hugh's got to do some pressers. Who's going to be at practice? We're going to see who actually puts pads on, right? So
Yeah.
we'll start getting some answers from there, man.
Mm-hmm.
But Caden, dude, like, best of luck to you, bro. Situation just sucks, man. You know, young kids make mistakes sometimes, and these things happen. Wishing nothing but for the best for you, man. Hope you find a home. Hope you're still able to achieve your NFL dreams, man. For real, we mean that. But big weekend coming, Blake. I have never ever seen this kind of recruiting momentum. Not since maybe coming off that natty, and we had that big class with Trooper and all those guys, man. Those first couple of years there, Gene Chiswick, they really got after it. The Byron Cowart being the number one recruit and all that. But man, that's 12 years ago. However long ago that was, man. Ages. So it's been a long time since we've got to this point. A lot of names, Blake. I've done a lot of checking around today. You have as well.
Mm-hmm.
We're hearing a lot of this guy could pop. This guy could pop. This guy could pop. I guess, Blake, just excitement level 1 to 10. Where are you? 12?
Yeah, through the roof. All right. And today, if you go over to our YouTube channel, right, I posted a poll on here, and I said, who will be the next commitment for the Auburn Tigers? Perry Thompson, KJ Bolden, DeAndre Carter, Malcolm Simmons, or other? I know TJ Lindsay. I left him off the list to see if anybody would kind of throw in a comment there or click that other right there. I know they're really high on him. Possibly this weekend. That's one of the guys right there. But Perry Thompson bringing in 68% of the vote on this poll, and DeAndre Carter getting, 16%, and Malcolm Simmons getting the other 16%. So everybody seems like they're on the Perry Thompson train. All right. And like we mentioned a little bit earlier, is after everything he posts, he is committed to Alabama and openly hollering at Auburn. Okay. Dustin, you know what it is? All right. It's basically like you being in a relationship and sitting next to your girl, and your side chick walks up, and you're just like, hey girl, what's up? You know? And your girl's like, oh, who is that? And you're just like, oh, that's my side piece. All right.
You're flipping through Tinder and you ask her, you think she's hot?
Yeah.
Do you think she's hot? Should I swipe on this one?
Yeah. Who is that? Oh, that's my side chick. Like, here you go. All right. Well, now I'm about to make her my main chick. All right. And you're no more. That's what it feels like. Like, you're literally committed to Alabama, and you're that open with Auburn. So yes, Auburn fans are excited. Like, it's going to get Auburn fans going, right? And then you send the message to Demarcus Riddick. I mean, that's going to get everybody through the roof. All right. And then you see Antonio Brown in the DMs. All right.
Oh, God.
Perry goes to TikTok. All right. Post this TikTok of scrolling through, and Antonio Brown is in his DM saying, boy, ain't no amount of cash could make me leave Alabama to go to Auburn. You're at the University of Alabama to play wide receiver. All right. Well, Antonio Brown is probably the last person I'm taking any advice from.
I don't think that helped, by the way.
Yeah. I don't even think I would want Antonio Brown in my DMs messaging me anything.
No.
This is a dude that is a temper tantrum 24/7, 365, literally took his pads off on the sideline, walked across the middle of the field while they were in play, and just threw the birds up, double birds to the crowd, and constantly complains.
We were super banged up at wide receiver. You know, I'm not going to let this one go. We were super banged up at wide receiver that game. It was the final game of the season. We were playing at New York versus Jets. And anybody that doesn't know, listen, I'm a big Bucs fan. Playing at the Jets, several wide receivers were banged up. Had to promote some guys off the practice squad that week. AB was the only guy we had. He said that he was hurt, and Bruce Arians trying to put him back in the game. You can go watch the film. He's literally running like just because he was the stupidest route runner I've seen in my life. Just dumb good, off the charts good. Ray was just running ridiculously crisp routes moments before he says he was too hurt to go back in the game. It's just a load of crap, man. Quit on his team when they had no receivers left in the middle of the game that was determining playoff seeding a week before the playoffs. Quit on a guy in Tom Brady that took his last chance, that gave him, that knew AB was on his last chance, brought him into his home, brought him into his house around his family and his kids, gave him a place to live, to make sure he got to practice and everything on time, and you quit on him in the middle of a game. I think Perry Thompson knows that. I think the people close to Perry Thompson know. Anybody worth their salt knows that Antonio Brown is an absolute clown, and that anything he says, you should definitely probably run the opposite way. I think that only helped us. I really do.
Yeah. It was interesting to me though. Like, dude,
Central Michigan cat, right?
Yeah. Like it was weird. All right. It was weird to me. But yeah, man, Perry, I'm super high on him. You know, I've said it multiple times. Even when we talked with Caleb, that was one of the guys that I wanted to know all about. Where does Auburn sit with him? He is down here from my area in Foley, Alabama. I'm right across the bay in Mobile, and I'm going to have multiple opportunities to watch him play this year. And I had multiple opportunities to watch him live last year, and it's a sight to see. I can tell you that. You know, look, they're saying that he could potentially be, you know, the second coming of Julio at Alabama. All right, that's like, I mean, that's difficult. That's a difficult comp, but that's just the projections they kind of had for him. All right, so if he does flip, I mean, look, I said the other day that Auburn might shut Twitter down at 4 p.m. Central, and it come mighty close. But if Perry flips, I mean, this rivalry is about to get downright disrespectful. All right. It is about to get slimy, nasty, dirty. Just, boy, you're about to have guns being brought out. And people, you know, we're going to go down that road again, like it used to get with people getting shot over the Iron Bowl. I mean, it's about to get nasty. And that's what this rivalry is all about, right?
Yeah, not people getting shot, but
yeah. like just how intense it is, right? Like, I mean, you hear stories about that, and you're like you said, man, that don't happen in Michigan and Ohio State, right? But if Perry was to flip, when would you expect a decision? Like Saturday, maybe Sunday, maybe does he go home and let it all clear and open up Monday?
Oh man, okay. So full disclosure and to our listeners here, all the intel that we both have is it's looking mighty good for Auburn. I haven't been able to get a timeline from anybody, like specifically it could happen, it could happen. I'll just say everything that I have is that looks really looks positive. Even after Demarcus Riddick, I mean, you talked a little bit about this before we started recording. It just feels like, because this one seems so obvious for everything you laid out, for all the reasons, he's been flirting with us for months. The post, the first time I really started to say, okay, maybe, man, was when he posted the post with everybody walking one way, and then there was that one road off to the side, and there was one person walking down it. Why are you posting that? Everyone knows what that insinuates. Everyone can look at that and go, okay, right. Like, I know what this means. So all the public flirting, I would actually feel better about this one if I had the intel that I have and it was quieter publicly. I would feel a lot better. The way that Demarcus went, where last week we started hearing this is going to go a certain way, guys, hold tight. And we had to like keep it quiet and kind of curb our enthusiasm. And then you're just wondering, okay, can we get across the finish line here? I would feel more comfortable it was that. It's so public, where that Auburn fan in me, despite everything I'm being told by people I really trust, that Auburn fan in me is still just like, I'm hoping Saturday, though, Blake. To answer your question, I'm hoping he stands up Saturday at the start of Big Cat and says, let's make this damn thing happen.
That's why I'm so nervous, and I brought up the side chick a while ago, bro. It's because, like, you're so open about it. It's crazy. Like, you're just, like, that open about it. Like, hey, Alabama, like, here you go, you know. I mean, Kool-Aid wasn't even that open about it, you know. Like, when Kool-Aid, like, all the signs were, like, Auburn, 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 you know. Everybody was like, oh, he's wearing an Auburn towel. And then all of a sudden it was like, bang, Alabama, you know. It got kind of quiet and everything, you know. I don't know. it really makes me nervous. And that's why I sent you that Instagram story, is because, like, man, I don't like this. Like,
Yeah, for
they're
sure.
about to dupe us. And, I was nervous, but
They're
it
very
looks,
tight. Demarcus and Pull.
yeah. And
Period.
it looks really, cool now, because the smiley face and everything, and Demarcus picked Auburn. So you're kind of looking at it like, hey, Big Cat, he's going to flip, right? I'm kind of with you. I think it's either Saturday or Sunday. I think he probably releases maybe a graphic or something, or
Right.
says, hey, I'm going to flip over here to Auburn, and hopefully he would shut the recruitment down. And it's hard to, like, pen to paper, man. You want to see pen to paper with those guys, like, as soon as possible. Like, yeah, you get a commitment, but pen to paper is when it really truly matters. And that's why, I still get nervous sometimes. But
yeah, it's gonna take more than a Joe Phillips and a Demarcus Riddick. I mean, we
yeah,
lost a lot of battles. So am I more optimistic now? Sure.
yeah,
I feel a little bit better, sure, after seeing this play out the way it's played out.
no doubt.
But man, it's just so, like you said, it's just this open flirting to where it's like, are you really about to do this to Nick Saban, bro? You're
Yeah.
really about to do this to Nick Saban in our favor? Wow.
Dustin, what about KJ Bolden?
Okay.
Yeah, I know Georgia feels like he is wrapped up. Georgia feels like he is theirs. FSU is in the mix. Auburn's in the mix. I sent you something today from the
Mhm.
Georgia website where they asked him, they were like, hey, why haven't you really, like, come out and made your final decision yet? Like, what's going on? And he said, well, look, he said, I had my final decision. He said, but a couple weeks ago, I started talking to a school, and he was like, I
Mhm.
really wasn't feeling them, but then I started feeling them, and was like, hey, like, they're making this, like, way more difficult than it was. And he was like, so I just kind of backed up. And he was like, but now I know who I'm going with. And he was like, and I feel like my final decision's made. And so, like, all the Georgia people were just kind of like, well, what does that mean? Like, who is that school? We don't know. Do you think it's Florida State? Do you think it's Auburn? Or do you think he ultimately goes to Georgia? Or is Alabama in the mix? I can't
Believe so.
remember. I think they are.
Yeah, I mean, like, oh, they're on the list. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? They're on the graphic. So
Yeah.
I don't. Yeah, I for a long time I felt like it was Ohio State, Georgia,
That might be it. Yeah.
Florida State. I do feel like Bama's kind of made some headway here and there in it though.
Yeah. Who do you think he ultimately ends up with?
3 days ago, I would have said Georgia. Probably yesterday, I would have said Georgia.
But him coming to Big Cat, you're gonna go out on a limb and say Auburn?
Not yet. I don't know.
Hmm.
I'll say this. Based off of some stuff that I found out today, I now don't know. If you would have asked me this, if we would have talked about this on our last episode, I would have said Georgia. Based off of what you sent me, based off of some stuff I've read on the Georgia website, and a little bit of checking I did with the source on this one. I don't know. It's going to get interesting. This weekend could be very telling for KJ Bolden. I'll say that. If we make a big impression, which I'm sure I know we already have, but man, again, if Perry Thompson stands up in front of everybody Saturday morning and says, "Look, man, let's go," with Demarcus Reddick standing right there, with Walker White standing right there, the majority of the guys that are already committed are going to be there. That could really, man. I feel very confident in saying that I believe that Malcolm Simmons will commit this weekend, 4-star wide receiver out of Alexander City. A lot of predictions have been put in for him, and this has been a name that we've heard for a while. And once Cam Coleman kind of went away, it was like, okay, I feel like this is going to be the route they go with this one. So if Perry stands up and says that, and then Malcolm goes, hey, I'm committed to, because I feel like that one's going to happen either way, right? Then what is a guy like DeAndre Jones, the 4-star offensive tackle out of California, who I would say
it's Carter, ain't it?
Carter. Okay,
Yeah.
Carter. Yeah. So I would say with him, all right, you're getting a guy from California to come back down. I'm pretty sure he's already taken his OV, and so you had to work some stuff out to get him to come from Cali here to this weekend. That's a good sign. That's a really, really good sign. Will he leave committed this weekend? I don't know. There's some rumblings about that.
Mm-hmm.
Some people have come out and said they think he will. I'm not ready to say that. But if you're getting a guy to come back from California, he's strongly, strongly considering you.
Yeah.
He's really, really thinking about it. We'll know a lot more about that one this week, and I'm hoping that we come out with that one. If we can get that one, and if we can figure out whatever in the world's going on with Reese Baker, the 3-star offensive lineman out of Madison Academy, there's 2 offensive linemen right there that could pop this weekend. And now all of a sudden you're like, okay, I got some offensive linemen. Now you feel a bit better about that situation. So with KJ, man, I just named 4 guys that legitimately could commit this weekend. If those guys, big names for the most part, the Madison Academy lineman, Reese Baker, not the biggest name in the world, but for the most part, big names. If that happens with Riddick and all the excitement, or just a couple of those guys, and KJ is already close and he's feeling like, man, I really need to consider this, and he has a great time, and it goes the way that you think it's going to go as far as him enjoying the visit, and then he's like, okay, man, I've kind of wanted to make this move, and now I've got reinforcements to make this move. Yeah, man, and you've got his last visit. You've got his last one before he makes his commitment August the 5th. So you got to like that. That boat that just went well for us, right? Where we said, we looked at the situation with Reddick and we said, if he's committing before Big Cat and he's still coming to Big Cat, would he commit to Alabama or reaffirm his commitment to Georgia on Wednesday and then be at Auburn in their biggest recruiting weekend on Saturday when Bama's having a cookout? That wouldn't make any sense. So that's when you started to be like, huh. So similar situation with KJ there. You're starting to look at some of these things and going,
Yeah. What about the TJ Lindsey kid? How high are you on him?
I think we get him. I think he ends up in this class. Hope it's this weekend. I think it's a possibility. But I definitely think that I'm starting to really think he ends up in this class. And that's a guy, a lot of these things, man. So the kid from California, Carter, from a big-time high school in California.
Mater Day.
Big time, man. If you could get that kid and you open up that pipeline,
take him away from USC.
TJ Lindsey. He's going down. He's transferring from his high school in Arkansas to IMG Academy this year. We ain't got guys out of IMG in a hot damn minute. We get a guy out of IMG. Guess what? He gets up to Auburn. He tells his previous teammates from IMG, hey, man, I'm up here in Auburn, man. I love it. They're treating me right. We're turning this thing around. We're winning games. You start opening up these pipelines at these different massive high school programs that constantly pump out high-level talent.
Yep.
That's something we haven't done in a long time either. Start setting up these little pipelines in California. Start setting up one down there in South Florida. Yeah, bro, I'm all for that. Because you got to win these guys like these Demarcus Riddicks. You got to win the guys in the state. You got to win the guys over in Georgia, the K and Lees of the world and all that. You've got to get those guys. But obviously, Bama and Georgia are going to win those guys too. You just got to be able to pluck some, whereas we've been losing them all.
And we're not losing them all.
Yeah.
Not losing them all anymore.
We're not losing them all. And if you set up these, man, if you get a guy like TJ Lindsey, dude, man, we need beef up front. We need guys up front. That's a guy that looking in the future, you compare with a guy like Darren Reed, big time recruit that we got coming in this class. He's put on the pass for the first time next week. Really wish that he would have been able to get in at spring practice, but it's hard. High school works different ways for some kids. But that's a kid that I think as the year goes on can play. So what you got?
Oh man, they're responding to these Alabama fans. So I just clicked on my phone and opened up Twitter, man. It says what happens. It's so you remember Who Wants to Be a Millionaire?
Yeah.
And they would post the question and then the multiple choice answers. And it's this dude making this face and it says, what happens when Bama fans didn't get Riddick? A, cry. B, cope. C, cry some more. D, all of the above. Oh my goodness. I'm sorry, y'all.
You're good.
But
he doesn't want to win.
Yeah. What about getting
D
back
is
to
the
the
answer. D is
yeah,
the answer.
D, exactly. Getting back to the recruiting side of things, man, the Franklin kid not coming and making his trip this week.
Yeah.
Do you have any takeaways on that? I guess that really says that Auburn was never really in it. I mean, well,
Yeah.
they were in it, but you know,
Yeah, the noise was starting to pick up on him.
yeah.
It started to seem like he's going to come this week, and we're feeling like it's turning back around. I don't know. It was weird because they said he can't make it, but he'll be here in September. He'll come to a game in September. So I don't know. You know what I mean? Like maybe they just couldn't make it. You know,
Yeah.
they are kids, so maybe he doesn't have a car, and if something came up and his parents can't take him, I don't know. I just don't know enough about that one. Normally, though, when they say if it's the wording, because I don't know anything about this one, but it's normally the wording of these guys that cover recruiting will tell you something. So like if a guy is not, if it's kind of looking like, hey, there's no interest here, he doesn't really want to come, this kind of ship has sailed, they would say Franco's no longer coming to Big Cat.
Yeah.
They said he's not coming, but he will be. It's just the wording made it seem like it may be still open. Maybe something happened where he just isn't going to be able to attend, and that kind of thing does happen. Just don't know a whole lot about that one. I felt like he would have been committed to Tennessee after finding out some more stuff and doing research on it. It seems like he's been to Miami a whole bunch. So yeah, I don't know. I would tell him, hey Franklin, listen, bro, we need big offensive linemen or defensive linemen. Excuse me. We need big 5-star defensive linemen. Come on down, man. Early playing time. And something I wanted to mention on this early playing time thing. That Saban used that for 2 or 3 years. Because what he took over from Mike Shula was trash. So those initial pillars of the dynasty, the guys that turned it around, that's what he sold them. Was come return Alabama to Alabama, come be part of something different. We're tired of losing to Auburn. We lost to Auburn 6 years in a row. Help us change that. And they got those guys to come in and help them change that. So it's the same pitch. And then when you get to the level that they're at, which obviously we hope Auburn can achieve, then it becomes the different pitch where you say, obviously, now you want to come win and go all the stuff that they've been using for 10 years. So you just have to use what you have available. But Saban's used this when he was at LSU. He used this when he was at Bama. It's just part of it, man. Blake, how many recruits do you think we get this weekend? Over or under 3?
Over under 3. Man, let's go over.
Yeah.
Let's shoot high and go over.
I'm going 4.
Yeah. I was right at 3, but let's go 4, man. Let's go over. I think the momentum's high. I think we're from the outhouse to the penthouse, like old Gus used to say. But one thing real quick, I want to make a point here is I thought you made a great point today about never forgetting where we come from. All right. And I saw that when you posted it, and I said, man, that's a dang good tweet right there. I said that right there. That kind of stuck, it stuck with me, and it hit home a little bit that don't forget the years that we just went through. All right. The last 2 years have been hell. And you get a 5-star commitment and things are looking right, and your fan base is energetic and they're through the roof. All right. And you got all these big time names coming up to Big Cat weekend. The momentum's high. Don't forget what you just went through as an Auburn fan, because it was misery. It was misery. All right. It wasn't any fun. People have been making memes on the internet, asking what that whole regime was doing. All right. They were just sitting there saying, hey, like, what was going on? All right. Because it wasn't hard to recruit at Auburn. Hugh's making it look easy. All right. So what was actually going on? I can tell you what was going on. Man. Nothing. All right. Nothing. But don't forget those times. Don't forget how easy it is to fall back into losing. All right. Take it seriously. All right. Take it like Hugh Freeze is taking it. And he's looking at you and say, yeah, I do have 2 phones. All right. One's for recruiting. all right, and one's for my wife and kids, all right. And damn it, that's what I'm gonna go by is remember what you just went through, and don't ever forget it and how it felt, because you don't want to go back down that road. You want to go down the road of getting a Perry Thompson, getting a Demarcus Riddick, changing the face back to a top 10 national program that Auburn deserves to be. All right. You deserve to play in the college football playoff. It is sad that Auburn has not played in the college football playoff yet. It's sad to think about, because you should. Okay.
They ain't really sniffed it. I mean, because even
one time,
the one time you did sniff it, though, you
got blown out.
You were still sniffing it, and then you get blown out, and then you end up being a team with 3 losses, and you weren't really that close to it. Like, you would have had to have handled that, and then it still would have been like, are you going to be a 2-loss team? I mean, I feel like we would have made it, but my point is, like, you weren't like solidly in it that last day. You were still kind of right there, and then you got blown out, and everybody was like, all right, get out of here. So you just ain't even really been that close, man.
Yeah, it was just that 1 year. And it's just sad to me that Auburn just hasn't played in it yet, because I know Auburn is, it's a program. Look, I don't give a damn what you see on Twitter, all right, about dog whatever program. Because I'm not gonna curse on here tonight. But whatever they say over there, dog water program. Don't believe that, man. It's top 10. It's on the fringe of top 10 college football programs. And do what Dustin tells you to do. Remember what you just went through. And this weekend is absolutely huge. And I think Auburn strikes. I think they strike.
I do too. I just wanted everybody to remember, like, have fun with this, man. Have fun with it. You know what I mean? Enjoy it, bro. It's supposed to be fun. Don't become what Alabama fans have become. Like,
spoiled brats.
Just spoiled, bro. Just spoiled. They go 11-2, 12-2, whatever they finished last year, with a huge bowl win. Lost to 2 good teams all on the road in the last minute of the game, and they're freaking out. And they freak out, and they lose 1 recruit. They lose 1 5-star for the first time in forever to Auburn, and they freak out. Like, they're just remember last year when we won our first game versus Mercer, and then they were all over us for celebrating in the locker room. Oh, you beat Mercer. They practiced all off season and played a game and won the game. That they get to celebrate
off a lightning delay too.
Yeah, they're having fun. What are we talking about? I don't get it. So I just and I said that too because me and you both believe that Hugh Freeze is going to be the coach of Auburn for a long time, and it's going to be a successful tenure. And there are Bama fans that were in the building. I know one personally. He's related to me. Now he's not hearing this podcast, so I'll call you out, cousin. He was at the game. My cousin's first ever game was UL Monroe versus Alabama. That was his first ever Bama game.
Tough one.
And he's forgotten. He has forgotten. He goes into every game. They're 40-point favorites. If they don't win that thing by at least 20, this guy sucks. That guy sucks. Lane Kiffin's an idiot. I was like, wait, Lane Kiffin's an idiot. Depending on which way you want to call that. But as far as talk about his play calling and him as an offensive coordinator.
Yeah.
Okay. Saban's lost it. He ain't got it no more. All of them. He's full of all of them. Don't become those people. We're going to have a great weekend in recruiting. Let's enjoy it. Let's have fun. Last year's Big Cat was trash. Yes, we got a couple of guys. Whatever. They all just whatever.
Hey, Dustin, there's only 2 guys from the 21 class left. 2 signees.
Man, that is just
I didn't mean to cut you off, but I had to throw it in there.
No, you're good. It's really wild. It's just man, don't forget it. Don't forget it, because it's we're going to get to a point where we're winning a lot of games. We're going to be successful. I truly believe that. I truly believe in Hugh Freeze. I believe that the alignment behind the scenes, I believe that Yellowwood's on board, everybody. I think it's all good to go, man. I think we're about to have a really fun and successful 10 years at least on the Plains. And I just want everybody to because Tennessee never thought they were going to fall, right? Like, I never thought that Auburn was going to get to this. I knew Auburn was capable of having bad seasons. Hell, I went through 2012, but then 2013 happened right after. I went through the disappointment of 2003, which ended up being an 8-5 year, but still probably the most disappointing season I've ever had as an Auburn fan.
How about 2015?
2015.
We had Jeremy Johnson. We were supposed to be
dark horse.
Yeah, Heisman Trophy.
Dark horse. You got to light it up.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there have been disappointments for sure, man. So, but there's never been this like these 3 years right here have been tough.
Yeah.
These 3 years have been the toughest of my Auburn fandom, and I just don't want to forget them because I feel like in a couple years we're going to be riding high, and it doesn't mean you have to come back and crap on how Gus finished or crap on Harsin personally and all that. Just never forget how low it can get. You can get to how you were that day versus Arkansas if you don't handle everything right, and that's on us too. That's on us as fans too. We have to be aligned. We help. If you don't think that we play a part, then just go watch the A&M game again. And then look at where Auburn is now. If you don't think that we had a part that night as fans in turning this program around, then you don't know what you were looking at. We play a part too. Let's all stay together, man, as much as we can. We're not going to agree on everything, but just even on social media, man, just be smart. Use your manners. If you disagree with somebody, they're not a dumbass. They're not an idiot, blah, blah, blah. You don't have to be so harsh all the time. Let's all stay in line, man. Let's get this thing rocking, bro. Let's not forget what we're coming out of this year. Let's not forget it. But it's about to be fun, man. And let's turn up. Let's roll tumors. It's going to be a really, really fun weekend, man. I think you're going to see a lot of names pop throughout the weekend. We both put our number at 4. So the future, as we say all the time, man, is super bright, and we are so freaking close to being able to start to talk about games.
Yes.
We're so close to being able to talk about previewing the UMass game and all these things, man. We're a month away, dude. We got this last month of August facing us, and then we're there, baby. We're there. We're almost there, Blake. Anything you got for people before we get out of here?
All I really want to say is go sign up for On to Victory if you haven't done it yet. Okay. Go help these kids out and help them with their their student living and just putting some money in their pockets, man. Help them any way that you possibly can. And because they entertain you on Saturdays all day long, not just the kids at Auburn, man. All of these kids in Division I football, FCS, whatever. These kids deserve it. The job that they do, not only on the field on Saturdays, but the job behind the scenes that they do. I know a lot of people out there think that college athletes live the easiest life possible and they're on scholarship. Okay. But it's a lot more difficult than you think. Okay. It's a lot more. They go through a lot more stuff than what you see on a Saturday. So go help them out. And also go check out our sponsor, homefieldapparel.com. The code is UPTEMPO, 15% off your first purchase at checkout. Some really cool shirts, about 150 teams they got available. They're a great company based out of Indianapolis. Go check their stuff out. It's I've bought 2 Auburn shirts off of there. I know Dustin's got a couple of shirts off of there, and
really comfortable, man. They fit well,
dude. They are, man. They are so comfortable, dude. Like whatever material they use is so soft.
You need a blanket like that, right?
Yeah, I love it. But yeah, guys, like it's been a heck of an episode, Dustin, and I know this fan base is excited. We're jumping to the roof. Yeah, man, it feels really damn good. So, guys, we will see you guys Monday, and enjoy Big Cat. And we will be back to talk about it. So until then, we'll leave you with a War Damn Eagle, and have a happy Big Cat weekend. We're out.